Hello everyone, let's talk about Japanese architecture. I assure you it will be interesting. We will start with the early period of Japanese architecture and then move down the list to modern buildings. There are virtually no surviving examples of ancient Japanese architecture before the 4th century. There is very little information about the architecture of this period in the ancient Japanese texts Kojiki and Nihon Shoki. The appearance of early Japanese buildings is usually recreated based on clay models of Haniwa residential buildings and drawings on bronze mirrors. Excavations and studies show that the early Japanese structures, called tate enojukyo, pit dwellings, were dugouts with a roof covered with straw and branches. The roof was supported by a framework of wooden supports. Later, takayuka stilt houses appeared, used as granaries. The structure helped prevent spoilage of grain supplies from floods, dampness, and rodents. The same type of houses were built for tribal elders. Next, let's talk about the architecture of the Meiji period. During the Meiji era, Western, European, and American architecture penetrated Japan. After the conclusion of the unequal Ansai treaties, extraterritorial settlements of foreigners appeared in the treaty ports. For example, the foreign settlement of Kobe. These settlements were built with houses in the European style. Such houses in the European architectural style, in which Europeans and Americans permanently residing in Japan lived, were called ijinkan. The ijinkan buildings have been preserved in the Kitano-cho district of Kobe. There is a similar district of Yamate in Yokohama. Next in line is the architecture of the Taisho and early Showa periods. In the early 20th century, various trends in European architecture, such as neo-styles and eclecticism, continued to be popular in Japan. An example is the Yokohama Port Opening Memorial Hall, built in 1917, Neo-Renaissance. Foreign architects continued to play an important role in the development of Japanese architecture. After World War I, one of them was the Czech architect Jan Letzel, who built more than 40 buildings in Japan, but almost all of them were destroyed by the Great Kanto earthquake in 1923. The ruins of the Hiroshima Chamber of Commerce and Industry Exhibition Center, 1915, remain. The building was largely destroyed by the atomic bombing of Hiroshima. It is now the Hiroshima Peace Memorial. Here we come to the last stage, modern architecture of Japan. New technologies have had a significant impact on Japanese architecture. The need to rebuild cities destroyed after World War II gave a great stimulus to the development of Japanese architecture. At the same time, the rebuilt cities were very different from the pre-war ones. As a result of the adoption of Western construction technologies and materials, the new structures made of steel and concrete were very different from traditional Japanese buildings. One of the most famous architects of the post-war decades was Kenzo Tange. In the 50s to 70s, the metabolism architectural movement developed in Japan, gaining worldwide fame. Later, Tadao Endo began his professional career in 1969, gained worldwide fame. So we have analyzed all the stages of our plan. Analyzing the history of Japanese architecture was quite interesting. That's all. Thank you for watching, my dears. I hope you found it interesting to learn something new. Don't forget to subscribe and like this video. See you soon.